What's the most important thing I need to know about you?
I'm married with a dog, and I like to gamble. That's pretty much my life. Spending time with my family, my dog, and gambling.
Has that gamble always been there? Can you remember a time when it happened, when it really became prominent?
I always really like to play games, but gambling, I started playing poker in high school with my friends. And I got into it because it was a game, but then the whole gambling element makes it even more exciting. Because sometimes games become repetitive, but in gambling, there's so much chance that every day is different. You never know what's going to happen. It's always an adventure.
And did you ever have a problem with the money? Because obviously gamble comes money unless you're doing it for sweets or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some. How do you feel around the financial side of things?
I never had a problem with thinking about it with money. Because when I first started playing poker, I was a broke high school kid. And I had no money. And I made a lot of money playing poker very young. So for me, I've never really, like when I was younger, when I was working my way up, I always thought about it, well, even if I lose all of my money, I'm still way ahead in poker because I spent, money on traveling and just living life. So,
how old was you about then when you was really doing well?
I think I made a lot of money when I first started playing poker was when I had finished high school. I was 18 or 19 years old. I must have been 18. And in between high school and college, I think that summer I made like $70,000 or $80,000 playing poker online, which for an 18-year-old kid, is all the money in the universe.
That's quite incredible because my boy's 17 and he's just started a part-time job, and he was telling me yesterday he wanted to buy himself a £40 Gucci bandana.
Yeah.
But he said, there's something stopping me, Dad, and I don't know what it is. So how on earth, what would he do if he had 80,000? I mean, what was you like around money with 80,000 at that age? I mean, what was you thinking, feeling?
I thought it was awesome. I thought, I was always kind of a rebel, and I thought I had found a way where I could buck the system, where I didn't have to go to school, didn't have to get a job in a cubicle, and I had enough money to do whatever I wanted, which all I wanted to do was go out and have, 10 drinks and travel. So that was plenty of money to do that.
Before you found poker, what did you want to do? When you're dreaming as a kid, what is it that you wanted to be?
I don't really know. I knew for sure that I don't want to follow the conventional path. The first time I saw poker on TV, I wanted to be a professional poker player. I thought, this is so cool. These guys don't have a job, don't have to work for the man. They just play a game all day. And that was very appealing to me.
And what was it about your life at the time that made a real impression on you that you said, there's no way I'm going to have this conventional life? Was it a struggle in school? Was it anything to do with that?
Just to me, it always seemed kind of like, fake to me. I think nowadays maybe people are more open-minded with the advent of, social media and the internet. But where I grew up was a very, prominent suburban town where everyone kind of was encouraged to follow the traditional path. Like where I went to high school, I think 98% of the people went to college after high school. And that whole path never really made sense to me. In middle school, they tell you, oh, you have to do really good and get good grades because high school is going to be so much harder. And then in high school, they're like, oh, you have to go get good grades or go to a good college. And then you got to go to a good college to get a good job and, make good money. And for me, I just never wanted to do that. So I was always kind of like, what's the point?
And I guess there was also a part of you that was like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I do want the money and I do want a nice lifestyle. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what, really appealed to me in poker. That was kind of a way to bunk the traditional lifestyle or the traditional system and still do what I wanted with my life. Did
you avoid the job scenario completely, or did you at some point get a job?
No, I worked some odd jobs when I was in high school. I worked in my friend's greenhouse, unloading trees and flowers once a week. And then I even worked as a janitor. And actually, I had made quite a bit of money playing poker when I was maybe like 17, maybe like $1,000, which, you know, to me that was a lot of money at the time. And then I lost it all, and I had to take a job as a janitor just to get some money to play poker again.
Right.
And then after that, I kind of had a little bit more respect for money, because playing poker was a lot more fun than cleaning toilets.
Being a janitor, yeah, I get that.
I am Andrew Robl, and I am High Stakes Poker.